All right, there's no tea today because it's pretty dark and it's in the evening time and I'm not really feeling like drinking any teas, even though probably every other episode I do drink it. If you've seen this channel before, then you know that I actually have a studio I shoot on and it has way better quality, but I haven't been there in so long just because the holidays are just so busy, especially with my barbershop business, that I just never have time to stop by the warehouse. Well, I'm gonna make my time out there. But for now, the only time I can record is at home. Either way, let's talk about this. The fact that I have a problem. It's a huge problem, and I really want to talk about it because what I have in my hand is the Fujifilm X-Pro3 with a 35mm. But the 35mm, we're gonna have to talk another time. But the X-Pro3, Jesus, right? Like, how many times have you seen me switch cameras? Seriously, how many single time? It's a lot, all right? So even I've lost count. And I think that's a big problem because cameras are meant to do one thing, and it's supposed to get that picture for you. And it's supposed to make your life easier in what you're trying to do, recording a video, taking pictures, but there's a limit. You can't just keep switching cameras, or I just can't keep switching cameras in like getting myself inspired to go shoot pictures, getting myself like excited again to go shoot pictures. It almost feels like I'm just in love with cameras, all different type of cameras, than in love with photography itself. But that's not true because I actually really enjoy taking pictures and I just love cameras too. And I want to have like the perfect camera for me, like the perfect one that I like for almost all situations. And that being said, I went to go buy another camera, which isn't a smart idea and which isn't the best idea because I keep switching, you guys. You guys know that I have the X100V, and right before that I have the XE4. Super similar camera, and this is like, come on, this is perfect. Right now it's has a markup value, almost like $800 markup. And this is honestly a lot of people's dream camera, and I have it in my hand, but I went to go get this. This is very, very similar to this camera. Very similar. Look at how they look. It's almost exactly the same camera. Almost. There's a few differences, but pretty much almost exactly the same for the purpose that it's doing, right? Kind of, right? This is very close to the XE4, I'll tell you that. It's very, very close. It's a more professional camera than the XE4. The XE4, I feel like, is more of a travel for cameras, or a family photo camera, and even you can do more than that, okay? But it's just, it seems like it's like that because there's a lot of things that you really don't get with that camera that you can get with like something like this. But don't get me wrong, the XE4 is amazing, amazing. So I don't want to hear in the comment that you're saying, oh man, you said it was good, but now you're switching. No, it's amazing. It's still amazing. It's just that this has like weather sealed, which is awesome. And it has a dual card in here, which is also awesome, not necessary. The buttons, there's a lot more buttons here, and the diodes, there's more diodes. And it just reminds me more of the X100V than the XE4 reminded me of the X100V. And this, honestly, is extremely fun to use. The back is very different, right? If you're looking at this, it's not a monitor back here. Isn't that crazy? Like even this part is like projected by light. So like in the dark, it's really hard to see. But in the daytime, it's really bright and you can see it really well. And it's just like one of those film boxes. So right now it says it's Fuji Classic Chrome because I have it on Classic Chrome. And then it shows me my ISO and my white balance. That's all it does. And I can switch it to other menus, of course, but it kind of reminds me of like the film camera where you have to stick that piece of paper in the back to show, oh, what kind of film you're using in there so you don't forget. And that's what this camera is supposed to be. And even like the top, right? Everything in here, it just feels more like a film camera than a digital camera. So I would say this is like the digital camera of film camera. This is the closest to film camera a digital camera can be. It has an optical viewfinder right here, but you can also switch it to digital. It has the back cover right here. So when you're shooting, you don't get to look at your pictures right away. You kind of have to just enjoy the shooting process and worry about what the picture looked like later. And that sounds scary and that sounds crazy to even think about, because why would I shoot a picture not knowing, or why would I leave a spot after I've taken a shot and not knowing that it looks good? Well, that's what film is all about. When you're shooting film, you don't know 100% if it looks good. You don't. You know, the better you're getting at it, the better you get at taking pictures, the faster you'll know that it looks good. But it's not like you take the picture and you know right away. You got to develop it. With this, you take the picture. Yes, you can find out by pressing the play button, which will go through your pictures, but you can just move on and enjoy taking pictures. That brings like this excitement to like later look at the picture and be like, whoa, like I took that pictures, that's amazing. Or like, I love how that turned out. That's really cool. If you want to see the picture, there's a monitor. That's the monitor you're looking for right there. This is the monitor. It is inward instead of facing out. And this is supposed to be where you look at all your pictures. You get to press play and see all your pictures on there. So you can look at it, the digital version of it, right? The digital film camera. This is where you get to see your picture. But ultimately, what this is meant to be for too is looking down at it and snapping the shot. So for medium format cameras like the Veronica that I have, that camera, it's a top-down viewfinder. So you look down and you compose a shot and you take it. And that's kind of what you're supposed to be doing with this monitor. You look down, compose a shot, waist level viewfinder, that's what it's called. You compose a shot and you take it. And that's what that monitor is. Other than that, you look through the viewfinder, and that's the joy of it. I love looking through the viewfinder. I love taking pictures through here. It just lets me concentrate on taking a picture, framing the shot, and just worrying about what it looks like later. Because I know that I got the color correctly. I know that I got the white balance correctly. And if I don't, I would use that as a lesson to be learned. A lesson to, hey, check your white balance, slow down, check your exposure, check the exposure meter, slow down and just take a look at all those things. And then, yeah, I'll move on and take another shot. And you can check, it's all in here. So that's the super fun part about using a camera like this. Also, you can pretty much set everything on aperture priority and then go take the shot. So here, I would use it as like F2 or F4, and then on the ISO up here, I'll set it to automatic, A, and the shutter speed, I'll set it to A. And then the exposure comp, I'll set that to 0, unless I really need it. And that's pretty much it. And then now, it's at aperture priority, the exposure will always be correct. I just need to know that that's the focus that I want, or that's the blurry background that I want. It just lets me slow down and enjoy the photography of it. Plus, this has a way better grip than the XE4, just because it's a way bigger camera. The XE4 was smaller than this camera. It's not lighter, but it's smaller. And it's not lighter because of the lens. It's not because the whole camera it's not lighter. And then the X-Pro3 is actually bigger, right? It's bigger than the X100V. There it is. But surprisingly, because it's bigger, it doesn't feel that much heavier. Like, it still feels super light, and I don't know, I just really enjoy taking this camera around. I enjoy taking it and using it. It's just so much fun to use a camera like this. At first, I was like, why would anybody want to use a camera with no monitor? But to be honest with you, if you guys are interested in like an X-Pro3, it's insanely fun. It's super fun to use, and you have the Fujifilm film simulation. So the color grade's pretty much there too. So if you're just gonna shoot JPEG, you shoot it and then you get the color already corrected in there, and yeah, you just upload to Instagram, or that's pretty much it. Whatever you want to do with that picture is already set. You don't have to bring it into Lightroom or any other program, and then you don't have to edit it if you don't want to. the film simulation on Fuji cameras are ridiculously good, and yeah, it's already there for you. It does use the same battery as the X-E4 and the Fuji X100V. It's these square ones, and they work fine, because at the end of the day, they don't come with a battery charger, which I don't mind because I do charge everything via USB Type-C, and I just leave my camera there. So I use it as if it's a phone that I bring around, because it's just so light and it's so small that I don't have a problem using it as that, you know, bringing it around, taking a shot, enjoying the moment, and just photographing the stories of my life. And if I wanted to use another lens on here, I could. The 35mm actually came from the X-E4, so I just switched the lens and put it on here. So now I have a 35mm on here. And yes, it probably would have looked way better in black, because this is also black. But my X-E4 was silver, so I'm stuck with a silver one. Hopefully I can find someone who would trade me for a black one. That'd be awesome. Alright guys, that's just my quick 2 cents on the Fujifilm X-Pro3. I'll catch you guys in the next video. My name is Andy. Make sure you subscribe and hit that like button. I'll see you guys later.